Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Keely Denenberg. I'm Senior VP of Client Solutions at Orange Grove Consulting, and I am joined today by Dr. Jodi Detjen. Hi, Jodi.
Hi.
And we're talking about HR analytics. And today, we often are kind of speaking to the HR team, CHROs, people who are our regular, client contacts. And we get the sense that, the message is well received by HR about how we should be looking at data and making database decisions. But sometimes we suspect that finance leaders and other C-suite leaders aren't quite seeing things and the way that they could to better utilize their existing data. So, Jodi, my question to you is, why should a CFO really think about HR analytics and when they make decisions, how it could better help them?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because I think so too often we look at employees as people as this cost bucket, right? And it's really not that nuanced. You might align that cost but budget to a particular BU and say whether or not that business unit is bringing in, and is it customer facing, is it support? But what you're not actually doing is aligning the roles to the ROI. So one of the things we do oftentimes with our leaders is we literally have them calculate their own personal ROI. If we start measuring what the ROI is of every individual contributor using performance evaluations, looking at their pathway across the pipeline, the talent pipeline, from the point of hiring through the point of succession planning and promotion, we're literally identifying why one person versus another is adding more or less value. So we're looking at people in a totally different, much more nuanced and detailed way that allows us to decide, are we promoting the right people? Are we promoting the people that are having that impact, whether they are, bringing in more clients? But that's very, gross figure, right? Are you bringing in more clients? What about the ones that are providing that surround sound support? The rainmakers versus the shower makers, for example. Are we looking at the contribution that people are making in terms of the developmental assignments, like the assignments that help get you on the pathway up? Who is getting those types of assignments? So all these types of things that we can start to measure in a very objective way using analytics can actually help us make a lot more concrete and nuanced decisions about who we should keep, who we should not keep, who we should promote, who we should hire.
Well, and I think there's also a place where to think about when we are measuring employee sentiment, that could be utilized too, right? When it comes to the intent to turnover and we think about the cost of replacing employees, that could be
That's
another
exactly right.
way that we could
And
use.
also we could allocate a particular cost in terms of the morale hit that you get when you have a certain low engagement rate. And what does that actually cost in terms of productivity? There's plenty of research that can give us that data. The problem we've got today is that they have these pockets of data and they're not actually bringing them together in a systematic way to really understand holistically what is happening with our people. And people are such a big cost for most organizations. And if we just lump it together, it does not tell us the depth of what's actually going on.
Yeah, and you can't make informed decisions that way.
You cannot. And there's always, the number cannot be the end all be all, but it's going to point you in the direction that will give you an indicator as to what's happening. So let's just say, for example, you're looking at promotion data. I was just talking about developmental assignments and who you're actually picking to do those developmental assignments. So in essence, who are you investing, a more senior person's time in to develop that person's talent? Most organizations don't track that at all. And yet who you pick for that, to be a pitch in front of a client or to have a special big project or whatever that assignment looks like can have a long-term impact on your bottom line. And so we're doing this as, this person is
Come
great.
with me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These are all these decisions need to be made significantly more objectively. And I think by using data, you can do it.
Great. Well, thank you. And thanks everyone for listening in. Check back to our YouTube channel to see more conversations like this one. Take care.
Thank you.